it helps somebody else, then great. So I'm going to discuss a topic on something which really I struggled with nutritionally a few years ago, and I probably built a really unhealthy relationship with food, and I'm probably going to class it as an eating disorder, because I think it was, but I didn't realise this at the time as well. So this is obviously a few years ago, before I become qualified as a nutritionist as well, so I didn't necessarily have the tools, the coaching tools. I didn't have the understanding as much around nutrition as what I do now, and I think because I've gone through this issue, it's helped probably other people out as well. So the first thing I did was, it hit January, and I decided, so I wanted to change, like most people do. They want to change, they want to basically hit a better nutritional goal, and they want to maybe drop a little bit of body fat, and that's what I wanted to do. You know, I was looking at sort of comparing myself to people in the fitness industry, and I wanted to look like them a little bit, and I wanted to get leaner. I wasn't necessarily feeling confident with the way I looked and felt. It just being Christmas time, so I'd probably overate ever so slightly, like we normally do. We indulge a little bit, so I put a bit of body fat on, and I obviously wanted to change. So something that I did was, I give myself a big push. I'd booked a photo shoot in for me to hit within a period of time, because I wanted to look my very best. And I also booked a holiday to Barcelona, which I was looking forward to, and that gave me more of a push as well. So I had a goal to hit, I had an end date to hit, and it was like, right, I'm going to hit this now. This is what I'm working on. And I always thought that going low on calories was better. It was always better. You know, if I got anything lower than 1,700 calories through the week, that was better. And if it fluctuated slightly over them, I'd sort of relate it to a failure that had failed. And that built an unhealthy relationship, because we know, as I spoke before, we can't just stay on the same calories every single day, and it can affect our relationship if we do this, because then we slowly start to find that we've failed if we've upped them or we've lowered them, when it's not necessarily the case. Every day is different. But also as well, I didn't relate it to myself, what I do with clients. I was working 12 to 16 hours a day. 12 to 16 hours a day. Right. On my feet. I was doing spin classes. I was exercising, sometimes twice a day. So I was going to the gym, I was doing my runs, doing all this, on around about 1,700 calories. Now that is a low amount. That is extremely low for my activity level. And I dropped body fat like really, really quickly. And it was sort of giving me, after a few weeks of me doing this, it given me some sort of motivation to go forward and keep going with it. And I started to build more of an unhealthy obsession with me constantly checking things like my waist. You know, so I'd go to the toilet to check my waist out, see if that was dropping. All of these things I was building an unhealthy relationship with. And if it didn't track on MyFitnessPal as well, I felt like a failure. And this didn't happen much, by the way, because I was like really motivated to hit a goal. But if it hit like a weekend or something like that, and it didn't track for like one day or even part of the day as well, I've like maybe not added it in the morning, I'd always think of that as a failure. And that's something that built an unhealthy relationship as well, that I felt like I couldn't come away from an app, which is really sad, because we should be able to come away from the app. And this is something that I want to create as a bit of an awareness. So obviously the months went by and I really pushed myself, and I slowly start to find that I was dropping body fat, but I didn't realise of how it was affecting me physically and mentally as well, because I lost a lot of muscle mass, and I thought I looked great, but looking back at photos, I did not look great at all. My face, my shape of my upper body, which I feel quite confident with now. I dropped a lot of muscle mass as well, which isn't good, and also it affected my performance as well. I wasn't running fast times, even though I was dropping weight. This is the thing, people always go on about this all the time. Weight loss is going to help you perform better, and you're going to get lighter, which is going to run and perform better. Yeah, there is, but there's a fine line with this. When you slowly start to push that deficit too much, you lose lots of muscle mass, then you're not going to be able to perform very well. So this really affected me as well. And even my movements throughout the day, I struggled to do things like, if I was sat down, it was like a task to get back up again. Just all these little things, your movements throughout the day, I just really struggled with as well. And I wasn't listening to my body, I wasn't listening to myself. I was always listening into that end date of where I needed to hit. So I wanted to hit that goal. And after a period of time of me doing this, because I was so motivated, I did hit that goal. But I didn't realise the pressure I put myself under. And obviously when I come back from holiday, I was just binge eating all the time. I became ill a little bit for a couple of weeks. My immunity was down. And I did this for probably around about 2 to 3 months. And I didn't realise until it hit that 3-month period when I put the weight back on. And I noticed that the body fat had come back on, because when I looked at myself in the mirror, I didn't look as lean as what I did. And I had to give myself a talking to and say to myself that this was wrong, what I did. What I did was wrong. It wasn't healthy. And also looking back at photos, I didn't necessarily look great, even though I did think I looked great at the time. And it's important to have this awareness, guys, because it makes a big difference. That if I'm opening up a little bit about this, about unhealthy obsessions with nutrition, it may help you out a little bit more and give you the understanding that these things matter. Building a healthy relationship with food matters, because you're going to be able to maintain things. It's also going to help you improve your health, physically and mentally as well. And it's having that understanding, and I think because obviously I did the nutrition course as well, it gave me a little bit more understanding of what I needed, what my body needed to get some results and feel more happy as well. I was eating food and not enjoying it. I was just eating it because I was hungry. We eat for enjoyment all the time. We don't just eat because we're hungry. And this is another thing as well. I took things away. I was eating chicken and broccoli each day. All these things I was doing because I wanted to hit that goal. So just creating a little bit of awareness, guys, on this is so important. If you have any comments or anything at all with regards to your dieting history, anything like this at all, anything that you've maybe tried out before in the past where you felt it's built an unhealthy relationship, please let me know. And I will speak to you all soon.